I'm a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian. I eat fish. I don't eat meat, so it's not really a place for me. Uh, but I was there many times before when I used to be a meat eater, and uh, I've sent a lot of. If you've been there, you see the sign: "Send a salami to a boy in the army." And I've sent many salamis from that place, not only to boys in the army. I mean, just generally. Here, this was shot in Katz Delicatessen.
Yes, I saw this photograph. That what brought me to you.
What happened when they were shooting it, they got these gowns which were enormously expensive. I was shocked. I'm not in the bridal gown business, but when to make one picture, they had a whole row of bridal gowns that they had a whatever you call that person, the person who sets up these shoots, and this one is $20,000. This is $25,000, so forth, and the shoes are $700, $1,200. Anyway, so the one thing that the woman comes over to me and says, "Did you see the bathroom in this place?" There's a little bit of the meat and a lot of the nostalgia. But I don't know if it's still the case, but I was there with a lawyer who used to work for me who was brought up in the Lower East Side. And we were down there around there, we stopped for something, and he orders a corned beef sandwich, and he gives the fellow a quarter. I said, "What do you give him the quarter for?" He says, "They give you extra meat that way." I never know that.
It used to be a quarter, now it's probably $1 or $2.
No, even a quarter then I was very little. It was very little, but it's a traditional, I guess. So he said he always did that. It wasn't that many, well, maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 12 years ago. It's the last of these Lower East Side places, and even it's one of the last real delicatessens, because delicatessen is dying away. People are weight conscious, and I don't think there'll be any traditional New York places. If you ask for a traditional New York restaurant, you tell people 35 years ago, 40 years ago, you'll find a nice delicatessen. That's traditional New York. People landed it from Eastern Europe, and they latched on to this, something they were used to over there. It's a self-limiting business. You're limited by the clientele. It's not going to be everybody that wants to eat fatty pastrami sandwiches. You're limited by the price range. Even the people who want to eat fatty pastrami sandwiches are not going to want to pay $30 or something for a sandwich. So, between all these pressures here, it will die a death. Politics is a entirely different thing. Politicians have certain stations, like stations across, that they make it a point to go to. There's on Queens Boulevard, there's a place, every presidential candidate has ever been there. It's Murray's, I'm not sure the name, I think it's Murray's, but every presidential candidate's been there. Now, Ratner's, Rockefeller used to go to Ratner's, be seen in Ratner's. And the same thing with Katz's. It's one of these places where they go to. When you go to a rich person's house in New York, they love to have pictures of poor people on the wall. When you go there, you see people, paintings of people gathering wheat, people suffering, peasants in a field, this kind of stuff. We had, I think one of the first times the place was ever used as a public arena is my brother and I had a joint birthday party there. And this is the invitation. And we had an enormous number of people, well over 1,000 people, I think. And we called it our 121st birthday celebration. That was on June 13th, 1990. The reason it was called 121st, we had his age and my age. He was born in 1925, and I was born in 1934. And we had this in 1990, so it's 16 years ago. It was 8 till 2 a.m. music. We had floodlights outside, and it was an event. We had all sorts of people there.